వాణిజ్య విషయానికి వచ్చినప్పుడు కొన్నిసార్లు స్నేహితుడు సైతం శత్రువు కంటే ప్రమాదకరమని ట్రంప్ అన్నారు. అమెరికాపై సుంకాలు విధించే దేశాలపై తప్పకుండా సుంకాలు విధిస్తామని ట్రంప్ తేల్చి చెప్పారు. అమెరికాకు ఇవాళ నిజమైన ఆర్థిక స్వాతంత్ర్యం వచ్చిన రోజు అని అన్నారు. సుంకాల ప్రకటనతో అమెరికాలో మళ్లీ పెద్ద ఎత్తున ఉద్యోగాలు వస్తాయని, కంపెనీలు తిరిగి వెనక్కి వస్తాయని అన్నారు. ఇకపై అమెరికా స్వర్ణయుగం అవుతుంది అని ట్రంప్ అన్నారు.
Reciprocal tariffs on countries throughout the world. Reciprocal. That means they do it to us and we do it to them. Very simple. Can't get any simpler than that. This is one of the most important days, in my opinion, in American history. It's our declaration of economic independence. For years, hardworking American citizens were forced to sit on the sidelines as other nations got rich and powerful, much of it at our expense. But now it's our turn to prosper, and in so doing, use trillions and trillions of dollars to reduce our taxes and pay down our national debt, and it'll all happen very quickly. With today's action, we are finally going to be able to make America great again, greater than ever before. Jobs and factories will come roaring back into our country, and you see it happening already. We will supercharge our domestic industrial base. We will pry open foreign markets and break down foreign trade barriers. And ultimately, more production at home will mean stronger competition and lower prices for consumers. This will be indeed the golden age of America. It's coming back, and we're going to come back very strongly.
చాలా ఏళ్లుగా మిత్రులు, శత్రువులు అమెరికాను దోచుకున్నారని ట్రంప్ అన్నారు. అమెరికా దిగుమతి చేసుకున్న మోటార్ సైకిళ్లపై 2.4% సుంకాలు విధించిందని, థాయిలాండ్, ఇతర దేశాలు అమెరికా నుంచి దిగుమతి చేసుకున్న ద్విచక్ర వాహనాలపై 60%, భారత్ 70%, వియత్నాం 75% సుంకాలు విధిస్తూ వచ్చాయని ట్రంప్ గుర్తు చేశారు. అమెరికా కొద్ది శాతంలో సుంకాలు విధిస్తే వారు మాత్రం తమపై భారీగా సుంకాలు విధించాయని చెప్పారు. ఆ దేశాలు విధిస్తున్న సుంకాలతో పోలిస్తే ఇప్పుడు అమెరికా విధించే సుంకాలు చాలా దయగలవి అంటూ ట్రంప్ కామెంట్స్ చేశారు.
The United States charges other countries only a 2.4 tariff on motorcycles. Meanwhile, Thailand and others are charging much higher prices, like 60%. India charges 70%. Vietnam charges 75%, and others are even higher than that. Likewise, until today, the United States has for decades charged a 2.5 tariff. Think of that, 2.5% on foreign-made automobiles. The European Union charges us more than 10% tariffs, and they have 20% VATs, much, much higher. India charges 70%, and perhaps worst of all are the non-monetary restrictions imposed by South Korea, Japan, and very many other nations. As a result of these colossal trade barriers, 81% of the cars in South Korea are made in South Korea. 94% of the cars in Japan are made in Japan. Toyota sells 1 million foreign-made automobiles into the United States, and General Motors sells almost none. Ford sells very little. None of our companies are allowed to go into other countries. Friend and foe, and in many cases the friend is worse than the foe in terms of trade. But such horrendous imbalances have devastated our industrial base and put our national security at risk. I don't blame these other countries at all for this calamity. I blame former presidents and past leaders who weren't doing their job. They let it happen. And they let it happen to an extent that nobody can even believe. That's why, effective at midnight, we will impose a 25% tariff on all foreign-made automobiles.
ఇతర దేశాలు తమపై విధిస్తున్న సుంకాల్లో తాము సగమే విధిస్తున్నట్లు ట్రంప్ తెలియజేశారు. ఇవి రాయితీ టారిఫ్లు అని, ఆయా దేశాలపై జాలితోనే సగం సుంకాలు ప్రకటిస్తున్నామని అన్నారు. అమెరికాపై ప్రపంచ దేశాలు ఎంత సుంకాలు విధిస్తున్నాయి, ఆ దేశాలపై అమెరికా ఎంత టారిఫ్ విధిస్తుంది అనే లిస్టును ట్రంప్ చదివి వినిపించారు.
China 67%. That's tariffs charged to the USA, including currency manipulation and trade barriers. So 67%, I think you can for the most part see it. Those with good eyes, with bad eyes. We didn't want to bring, it's very windy out here, we didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing. Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart. So it's 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%. I think, in other words, they charge us, we charge them less. So how can anybody be upset? They will be, because we never charge anybody anything, but now we're going to charge. European Union, they're very tough, very, very tough traders. You think of European Union, very friendly. They rip us off. It's so sad to see. It's so pathetic. 39%, we're going to charge them 20%, so we're charging them essentially half. Vietnam, great negotiators, great people. They like me, I like them. The problem is they charge us 90%. We're going to charge them 46% tariff. Taiwan, where they took all of our computer chips and semiconductors. We used to be the king, right? We were everything. We had all of it. Now we have almost none of it, except the biggest company is coming in. We're going to end up with almost 40%. Lee Zeldin's working to get their approvals. And it's an amazing company. Mr. Wei, of one of the great companies of the world, actually. They're coming in from Taiwan, and they're going to build one of the biggest plants in the world, maybe the biggest for that. But 64%, we're going to charge them 32%. Japan, very, very tough, great people. And again, I don't blame the people for doing it. I think they're very smart in doing it. I blame the people that sat right in that Oval Office, right over there, right behind the Resolute desk or whichever desk they chose. Japan, 46%. They would charge us 46%, and much higher for certain items like cars, little items like cars. 46%, we're charging them 24%.
భారత్పై ట్రంప్ 26% సుంకాలు విధించారు. భారత ప్రధాని మోదీ తమకు గ్రేట్ ఫ్రెండ్ అంటూనే టారిఫ్ విధించారు. చాలా ఏళ్లుగా భారత్ను సుంకాల నుంచి అమెరికా తప్పించింది అని ట్రంప్ చెప్పుకొచ్చారు. అయితే భారత్ అమెరికాతో సరైన విధంగా వ్యవహరించడం లేదని 52% సుంకాలను విధిస్తోంది అని ట్రంప్ అన్నారు.
India, very, very tough, very, very tough. The Prime Minister just left. He's a great friend of mine, but I said, you're a friend of mine, but you're not treating us right. They charge us 52%. You have to understand, we charge them almost nothing for years and years and decades. And it was only 7 years ago when I came in, we started with China, charged them. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China in tariffs. And a great.
అమెరికా ఫస్ట్ అనేది తమ నినాదమని ట్రంప్ మరోసారి స్పష్టం చేశారు. గత పాలకుల వైఫల్యంతో ఇన్నాళ్లు తమ దేశాన్ని విదేశీయులు దోచుకున్నారని ఆరోపించారు.
Job in many ways, but it lasted long beyond his terms, as you know. But it's not too late any longer, and we're going to start being smart, and we're going to start being very wealthy again. We're going to be wealthy as a country because they've taken so much of our wealth away from us. We're not going to let that happen. We truly can be very wealthy. We can be so much wealthier than any country. It's not even believable, but we're getting smart. Nearly a century later, in the face of unrelenting economic warfare, the United States can no longer continue with a policy of unilateral economic surrender. We cannot pay the deficits of Canada, Mexico, and so many other countries. We used to do it. We can't do it anymore. We take care of countries all over the world. We pay for their military. We pay for everything they have to pay. And then when you want to cut back a little bit, they get upset that you're not taking care of them any longer. But we have to take care of our people, and we're going to take care of our people first. And I'm sorry to say that. And today we're standing.